Well, good morning and welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder, and this is BRN AM for Thursday, March 12th, 2020. Here are our top stories. We'll gauge investor reaction to all this market volatility, and then how can you thrive with financial wellness? And joining me now to discuss this and a lot more, George Grombacher. He's the Chief Community Officer for the Money Alignment Academy. George, great to see you. Welcome back to the program.
Yeah, good morning, Jeff.
Hey, and appreciate you getting up early at Arizona time to join us. So before we get into talking about Strive and financial wellness, which I'd like to do in segment 2, want to get your reaction, client reaction, individual reaction to the market volatility and the coronavirus, which seems to be one of the root causes of this volatility.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think that what this has been, it's been a lot of things and a lot of very important things, but I think it's also been a wake-up call that volatility is a very real thing. And I know that a lot of the people I've been talking to, it just has been like that light went on, like, oh my gosh, my account went down pretty substantially. And some people, it's been sobering, but they recognize, but I'm just going to leave things alone. Some people have actually said, I appreciate that this is a buying opportunity. But then other people have been very, very, very uncomfortable about it and have been looking for alternatives, which I think is a healthy thing. Because if you're in a place where you maybe intellectually understand that you can be invested the way that you are, but then your account value goes down by 5 or even more percent, well, then if you're not going to be able to sleep well at night knowing that, it's probably not an appropriate way to be invested.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. Time to recalibrate, rethink. Let's break it down into the two groups that you serve as an advisor, as a consultant in the space. Let's first talk about the employers, because I think the reactions are going to be potentially mightily different. So you're in those committee meetings talking to plan sponsors or employers of retirement plans. They have a fiduciary responsibility to select investments and monitor those investments. So what's been the feeling forget feelings. What has been the conversation types that you've been having in this last week or so with that group?
Yeah, I think that feelings are certainly important, but it's always wanting to make sure that the investments that they're offering are in fact high quality. And nobody likes to see values go down, but they want to make sure that again, that the target date funds inside of their retirement plans, for example, want to make sure that those are responding. I don't think appropriately is the appropriate term, but making sure that that the way that they are responding to what the market is doing is in alignment with what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, so it's making sure that it's a time to check and validate your investment offerings, your investment lineup, whether it's the do it for me, so that as you said, the target date or the managed account, or I'm going to do it myself, which is the root investment lineup that many people can self-select.
That is way better said than I did. So yes.
Well, I don't know about that. I got it right. I got lucky. It's it's Thursday. I got lucky. So I want to come back to that in a second, but let's now switch to the employee group. So the employees, average Americans, mom and pop, all over the country, they have access to their 401k. They're seeing their market balances potentially go down. Let's talk about that reaction. By the way, we saw a lot of 401k trading activity a week ago Friday throughout the week as a result of this. So let's focus on that group. What are they saying, and how do you respond to that?
Well, so much of it is unknowing. It's confusion. I think that people are trying to make heads and tails out of what the coronavirus is in the first place. So there's that. Is this actually a major health risk to me? And then people are trying to make heads and tails out of what's really going on with the economy. How is what's happening in China impacting what's happening to my 401k balance? And all that. So it's been very, very challenging, and it's been challenging for me as well, just like it's been challenging for everybody to really make heads and tails out of all of that. But I think it's the same conversation that we just had with the plan sponsor, with the people who are the fiduciaries, is what we're offering the appropriate thing? Is it in line with my time horizon and all that jazz that we know is also important? But it really is sort of a reality check and a punch in the gut. It says, "Ooh, wow, my account can really go down like this. Is that okay?"
Yeah. Well, yeah. Is it okay? It's not okay in the short run, but George, the long term is what matters here. And look, if you're 5 years out from retirement, there is I can understand the trepidation, because you remember 2008, and that has to come. A lot of people, people were alive in the workforce, remember that and the impact that it had on balances. And then I'm old enough to remember, and I think you and I are around the same age. I think I'm a little bit older than you are, but I remember the bull market in the 1990s, and then the 2000 recession, where you were a millionaire on paper, but you're not a millionaire anymore. We're going to talk about financial wellness in the second segment, but let's go back to the employers. Working with employers, that message, the communication message, I think is important here. Have employers stepped up their responsiveness, working with the TPA, the record keeper, to deliver some of the messages that we were talking about to average Americans?
I think that the answer is really yes, and it's no. There are certainly those proactive employers out there who are wanting to try to deliver some kind of information, not necessarily answers, to their employees who are asking them, "Hey, what's going on? How concerned should we be about this?" But then there's certainly employers that are on the flip side of that coin that maybe aren't necessarily as proactive, and they're reactive, and they don't necessarily have a good sense of what's going on, so they're not going to communicate that, or they don't feel comfortable communicating information about what's going on with the virus and then the markets to their employees. So like everything else, I wish there was an easier answer to that question, but I think that a lot of people are trying to make heads and tails out of what's going on with what's going on.
Yeah, well, I think we all are, and it all has us scratching our heads and very nervous for a lot of reasons, on health of our family, health of ourselves, and then also the financial impacts, which obviously can have long-term effects. Well, George, I want to hold you over. When we come back, we're going to switch gears with George and talk about financial wellness and getting that mind, body, and spirit all aligned. So stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
The windows on our homes, they protect us and the ones we love, but they do much more. At Renewal by Andersen, making your home more comfortable is at the center of every window we make. It's why we custom build our windows in America and install them in as little as 1 day. It's why we build our frames with exclusive Fibrex composite material that's 2 times stronger than vinyl. It's why our glass helps keep your home warmer in winter, cooler in summer, and quieter all year long. It's why we stand behind every window with a 20-year limited warranty. Why not help lower your energy costs while giving your home and family the best? Call 1-800-835-6525 to schedule a free in-home consultation. Buy one, get one at 40% off with this special offer. Plus, get special financing with no money down, no monthly payments, and no interest for 1 full year. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window. Call 1-800-835-6525 now.
Welcome back. We're talking to George Grombacher. He's an advisor, but also the Chief Community Officer for the Money Alignment Academy. George, thanks so much for getting up with us this morning and sticking around with us today.
Yes. Good morning again. Here we go. Early morning.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but the show's a morning show. What can I tell you? George, you're always very amenable to doing these opportunities. So appreciate that. But let's switch gears, because I think a lot of what we were talking about in segment one really gets into that financial wellness, and it's a buzzword, but that financial wellness. And you and the team at Money Alignment Academy came up with Strive. Tell us a little bit about what Strive is.
Yeah, so Strive is an online boot camp. It's a 2-week online boot camp that's designed to detox our minds, our body, and our money. I'm always working, like you and so many other great professionals in our field, to do a good job and to better serve the people that we're serving, the companies, the employees, just people, right? Trying to help them lead the best possible lives, whatever it is they're interested in doing. I also know that people would get very, very sick of me showing up and talking about budgeting and 401k on a weekly basis, maybe even a monthly basis or a quarterly basis. So I'm always trying to find new and different ways to be giving people what they need by giving them also something that they want. And I think that we all want to be healthier. And I also think that we're all very cognizant of the fact that too many of us, including myself, are spending too much time on my phone, too much screen time, spend too much time wasting my time on social media. Maybe I'm not getting the right amount of exercise. Maybe my diet's not optimal, and maybe I'm not doing perfect with money. And so what this is designed to do is to, during this 2-week period, just for lack of a better term, really detox how it is that we're spending our time, our attention, and our money.
So how do people access the tool? And I love that. I love that it's not just about budgeting. And I agree. I think what we need to do is challenge each other, challenge our industry, people inside and outside the industry, that it's a lot more than just sitting down with a spreadsheet and writing out a budget. It's a lot more than talking about the expenses you're going to have in retirement, right? How did you come up with the different medium to do this? I mean, what led you to using digital, podcasts, et cetera, to tackle this issue? Yeah.
So getting into the 401k space, however long it's been, perhaps a decade ago, and just recognizing all the different challenges, the challenges that companies have to do a great job for employees, and the challenges that employees have being so busy and having busy lives and so many pulls on our attention and our time and all that. And knowing that not everybody's ever going to be in the same room at the same time, and there's no way that I can be in one room or a million rooms at the same time serving people. So got to take advantage of technology and everything that, so use the internet for good as opposed to for evil. And so that's really what led me down the path of learning about podcasting and learning about online course creation and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, that engagement, really impossible and really important, I should say, and it is, a lot of the technology makes this all possible, is kind of where I was going with that. Our industry has always been focused on the silo, right? The silo around retirement. But to your point, it's about, and I love talking to you because you have that calming demeanor, relaxed demeanor. I think it's very calming to people, but you're really bringing in the body element, so people, whether it's meditation, yoga, something to kind of relax the mind, disconnecting or deconnecting from our phones. But then you're also looking at traditional financial concepts like budget, but also healthcare, buying a home, renting a home, all those kind of important decisions.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And fundamentally, what I'm trying to do is help an organization, which in itself is its own community. So if it's a company or a church group, whatever, They have a built-in community. I'm trying to give them tools that they can use and plug in however is most appropriate for them. I mean, the challenge of big financial companies, which are doing great work with building exceptional tools and then trying to get people to actually use them, is very, very, very hard. I almost liken it to a company like Salesforce, who has created this incredibly robust technology and software. But then there's an entire industry of companies whose only job is to help other companies implement Salesforce, right? So these huge financial companies can create great 401ks and great financial training, but I also feel like it's the role of an advisor to then take these tools and hopefully create their own or put their own personal spin on it to help these users, you and I, the actual end user, the employees, use the tools, actually use their 401k. Otherwise, sometimes I think it just sits on the shelf.
Yeah, I think engagement is a key thing that is missing. And look, you can build it, but they don't necessarily come. And what's it, lead a horse to water, can't make it drink. And I think that is a piece, to your point, that is clearly missing here. We've got a financial literacy, use another buzzword, financial literacy challenge in this country. We also have a short-sightedness challenge, meaning people are thinking about today because they want to make their budgets. They want to take care of their children and their families. I get it. But there's that lack of that long-term horizon. And I'm not sure that coming up with just a piece of tech or a tool is the way to do that, because you have to be engaged to utilize it. So to your point, it's about engagement. It's about getting people to use these tools and to think proactively and long-term. And I believe, and that's the reason why we have this television network and the reason why you and I are talking, I believe that people want to do the right thing for themselves. They want to think about it, and we need to create new ways to reach people. And clearly you're doing that with Strive.
Amen, brother. I think that's well said. There is not a piece of technology that's going to be a magic technology wand that's going to solve the classic behavioral gap, which is in existence with everything that's of value. Eating right, doing a good job as a parent, being good with money. I can intellectually understand that and watch an app or a video, but unless I put things into practice, then it doesn't matter. And that's where the opportunity is.
Yeah. Last question. Last week, a week ago, actually today, we spoke with the Today Show's Gene Chatsky about the Alliance for Lifetime Income's new education around retirement income planning. In your experience working with Strive, working with employers, and with the passage of the Secure Act, which we talked about numerous times on the podcast and this show, how receptive now are the employers that you're talking with to the concept of retirement income planning and actually making that an important core part of their retirement plan?
Yeah, I think that's a really important conversation, and to me, a very interesting one, because forever, I think people have simply viewed a 401k as sort of this monolith that you put money in, and then we sort of just assume that it's going to take care of the retirement income thing. And it makes sense intellectually, unless you actually think about it. 401k is simply a way to accumulate assets, and then how you actually take that money and design that retirement income. So I think that it's just a matter of changing the frame a little bit. And then once people understand that, which is pretty easy, the light bulb turns on and they say, you're right. We do need to do a better job of actually helping to figure out how to make this into income. Yeah, absolutely. Well, George, always a pleasure talking with you. Thanks so much for getting up early for us on the network, and look forward to having you back on the program very soon. Thanks, Jeff. And that wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Hey, have a financial topic or someone of interest that you think we should talk to? Drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the news in retirement, markets, technology, personal finance, and so much more, check out today's edition of The Morning Pulse. So until tomorrow, I'm Jeff Snyder. Keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes.
Attention! The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services has officially authorized new benefits that Medicare Advantage plans may include. To get the benefits you deserve, you can call the Medicare Coverage Helpline.
Hi, I'm Joe Namath. If you're on Medicare, this is important information. I called the Medicare Coverage Helpline and they instantly looked up my coverage. In this one simple call, they offered to enroll me in a plan that includes rides to medical appointments, private home aides, doctors and nurses' visits by telephone, and even home-delivered meals. The plan also includes dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage, all at no additional cost.
Don't delay. Call to see if the new benefits are available in your area.
Call the number on your screen now. It's free.
Call 1-800-757-1451. That's 1-800-757-1451.